how to tackle this.
You had it, like you came in on point though.
I know.
You came in on point. You ready?
All right.
Just like confidence though.
Okay.
We got it. I mean, what episode is this?
12? 13?
It might be more. We might be 13? Close to like 15.
15?
Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, I think we're close to like
Rushing
15.
it.
That's awesome. Yo, welcome everybody to the
Wild, Wild West.
The Reps That Count podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Valentz.
And I'm Adam. And the reps that count are is about the challenges and triumphs that we go through in everyday life. It's about tackling this human experience with vigor and grace. And in fitness, the reps that count are the last couple reps that you are doing with intention, and that's what creates the most growth. So it's the same for life.
That was good. I was trying so hard not to laugh because I didn't want to mess you up.
We had to cut because I messed it up.
Oh, and then you got me laughing. I'll be laughing the whole episode. Oh, all right, guys. All right.
We're going straight to the reps that count. We're going straight to the reps that count.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice little jingle. That's a nice little intro right there. All right, cool. So, Adam, before we start the episode,
Yes.
gotta ask you the question of the day.
Ask away.
All right. What is something that you've done in the last week that you're proud of?
Massive action.
Okay.
I've been talking a big game for a while, just planning, and I can plan myself to death. Man, I'm a good planner.
You're a good
I get creative. I'll write it all out, but sometimes I fall short when it comes time to execute.
Okay.
And sometimes before I would self-sabotage before I can execute. It's weird. Like it, and I've repeated that same process several times. And this week, even like I did a small planning, but it was more about, all right, this is the action that I need to take every single day to hit this goal. And I'm crushing the goal, like way ahead.
Ooh.
And it just took like making those uncomfortable phone calls and like just actually doing the work.
You been cold calling?
Oh, almost.
Warm calling?
Yeah, warm calling. You know, like reaching out to people, hey, this is what I do, you know, and let's do it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's working.
Okay.
You know, I feel like sometimes we're scared to ask.
Yeah.
I do that sometimes.
Damn, that's dope, man.
Yeah. How about you?
For me, so I think I've told you, I've been working on this live stream for a competition that's coming up this weekend.
Big one.
Yeah. The MIA Classic, which is part of Wadapalooza, and like I'm in charge of the live stream. And at this moment, like everything that I've been planning or all the things that I've been imagining in my mind, I've been able to test, and it's going good.
That's awesome.
So like I am excited, and like I'm just like just going for it. Like I went on a walk the other day and I was like, oh, that's a great idea. Let me go ahead and try to implement it. And like within the idea has other people involved. And like I just reached out to a few people and they're like, oh yeah, man, we'll get that video over to you. And so,
and did it take like new training or like learning something new?
Yeah. I was on YouTube.
Nice.
Like it was like hours of like specifically trying to get instant replays figured out. Ooh. for the live stream, like that, you know, I had to set things up, and I'm like, okay, I've never done this before.
That's gotta be challenging.
Yeah, set up hotkeys, like try to figure out how to like clip the clips and then have them go to a specific folder that's tied to a specific scene that is connected to a button. And like there's little things, right? So like if I go to the clip of the instant replay and then I go back to the clip of the live thing, the instant replay keeps playing in the background. So the sound just was just echoing, so I had to figure out how to turn that off. It was just little things, but yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
I love that.
So I'm
Guys, if they won't see this
until after.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, it'll still be on YouTube, but
yeah. So Wadapalooza is a really big fitness festival in Miami. The Miami Classic is a part of that, but now it's separate.
yeah. Like it's basically gonna be on the street, and it's free for everybody to go. Again, they're not gonna see this, but you could still watch the.
Maybe we can clip do a small clip from this episode.
Yeah.
Just so people can come check you out.
Yeah, man. So there's some cool stuff. I guess I could talk about all the cool stuff I have planned, right? So athlete intros, NFL style athlete intros.
Nice.
So in most competitions, you just do the regular intro where you stand around the platform and everybody the announcer just tells you who's lifting. Mm-hmm. But if you're watching the live stream, it's not very, there's nothing there. Mm-hmm. So my plan is to cut to every athlete introducing themselves, similar to how you would watch on the NFL game. Again, instant replay, slow motion, instant replay, live on air interviews.
You did effects and stuff.
I have the whoosh and then the replay thing going. Yeah, I still have a couple more effects that I want to have, wait times, even I'm planning on having commercials and all types of shit.
Can you send me the link for the live stream?
We'll
post it.
Yeah, man. It's I'm trying to the goal is to be on ESPN.
Love it
next year.
That's the goal.
Yeah. That's
told me that, bro.
No, that's the goal is I want weightlifting on ESPN, even if it's ESPN 3, Trace or whatever. Because if Ultimate Tag could be on ESPN, if Cornhole could be on ESPN, weightlifting should also be on ESPN. So
absolutely, and I want you to be in that.
Yeah, I just want to be a part of it. I don't even need to be on ESPN. I just want the sport.
Yeah. I love that.
On ESPN.
I love that.
So
that touches on something bigger, the passion for the sport, the fact that you just want it to be on and you don't care what part you play in it, you just want it to be on. That's passion.
Yeah, man.
That is
it's a great sport, and it's once you get to know it, and that's my job for this live stream, to explain the sport to the people who don't know it, because I don't know, a lot of people don't know how to play golf, but they'll watch it and I don't understand what's going on in golf. So when I watch it, I'm this is boring.
Yeah.
But when you get to understand the processes and there's plans and it's just, there's a lot more to just lifting the weights. So
I made a decision. I'm gonna do a meet this year.
Okay.
I snatched today. It went well.
Okay.
Trying some no feet snatches because I got a snaky leg, and it went well.
So are you gonna get a coach?
Maybe.
Okay.
What, you think I should get a coach?
A coach is why I love weightlifting more than CrossFit. Because when you go to a competition, you literally don't have to worry about anything except lifting.
Yeah.
You put on your singlet, you sit in the back, and your coach, if you're a great athlete, this is something the type of athletes coaches love. You just wait. Your coach tells you when to warm up.
Oh, yeah. And I got to do the Brooklyn Barbell Classic in New York. I did that weightlifting meet, and King Ojo was my coach, and he was a Nigerian weightlifting champion coach. Okay. And he was amazing. He was older. He was maybe 65 at the time, but it was a great experience, and he was there with me the whole time.
Yeah, they tell you, you're this many out, lift, okay, boom, let's go stage. You have 3 more. And it's just so much easier than doing CrossFit, where you're in the middle of the workout and you're all right, I got to break down these sets. It's 21, 15. How do I want to do this? All right, I'm going to do 7, 7, 7. I'm going to do this. All right, I'm going to breathe here. It's a lot more. Weightlifting is just.
I like the art of it, bro.
Of weightlifting?
Yeah. The art of the snatch, every position. And
it's like dancing, bro.
Yeah, it's like dancing.
It's really like dancing.
Yeah.
All right. So that was the question.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, feel free to let us know in the comment section or text messages, DMs, wherever, what is something that you've done this week that you're proud of. So you want to go ahead and introduce this week's topic?
Yes, this week's topic is simple, not easy, which is something I try to remind myself constantly because I like to overcomplicate my life. Mm-hmm. And then I get overwhelmed, and then I have to strip my life to the bare bones again. And I was like, man, I should have just kept it bare bones the whole time.
Yeah.
So simple, not easy means doing the hard stuff, but not doing things that are unnecessarily hard or an unnecessary period.
Yeah.
Which leaves room for joy and leaves room for connection and leaves room for the actual important stuff. So a lot of times we think we need to do the hardest kind of training, or we need to train 5 hours a day, or we need to work 80 to 100 hours a week, where maybe we could have worked a little bit smarter, or maybe we could have got a certain certification to make a little more money, or we could have just stuck to one program because that actually worked. And,
instead of like program hopping,
and done it with the intensity that makes the results.
Yeah, intensity and intentions too. Like that's the other thing. Like knowing what's the purpose of what you're doing. Like that makes it like more worthwhile, and you get a lot more out of it.
Spoke about that last episode, the true north. Like it's how that's there has to be a true north. There has to be a purpose and an intention behind everything that you do, and that's the other thing. Making the main thing the main thing. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, oh man, I get distracted so easy, and it's like I can see myself getting distracted. I'm like, bro, why are you doing this again?
ADHD is fun as shit, bro. Yeah,
like that happened this week. It's like I did the work that I didn't want to do, and it produced so much more results in all that planning that I was doing.
Like you try to you come up with the plan, and then you try to come up with the garnishes, and then you end up focusing way more on the garnishes before the dish is even ready. I mean, you're sprinkling parsley on the plate, but there's nothing else.
And then you got a cold turkey.
Yeah.
You're focusing on the garnishes.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. I mean, I do the same thing. I do it often. Like I start way too many projects. And oftentimes it's really just to distract myself, because it's like it's hard for me to just to do the one thing, and I try to find a way to escape it, and that's where it comes the doing the fluff comes from.
Story of my life, and until I snap out of it, I'm pretty aware, and I journal, and I try to be aware when I'm doing that. And I'll still do it, but I'm at least know that you're doing it. Okay. Know that you got to stop doing that.
Oh, you know what? That also leads to putting you in a funk at times, right? And I think one of the things that I had to learn this past year was to have grace on myself, right? Because again, there's going to be times where you get sidetracked. But when you get sidetracked, it's important to be aware that you sidetracked and be like, okay, I just got distracted. Let me get back on track without feeling guilty for veering off the course for a little bit of time. Because that guilt could prevent you from course correcting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And don't be around people that make you feel guilty for it.
Yeah.
If someone's trying to make you feel guilty, this is what you always say.
This is what you always do.
Maybe that person doesn't need to be in your life, or you need to let them know that's not positive and that's not making you feel good.
So, as a friend, right? If you know somebody who does that, what's a good way to approach the situation? How do you help someone get back on track without necessarily making them feel guilty about it? That's a good one.
Yeah, that's tough, and I'm not gonna sit here and make up a fake answer.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. I would say if I had to, I am a coach. So setting up clear steps is something that I do for people. And sometimes that's fitness, sometimes that's not fitness. So I would sit them to, hey man, let's meet for coffee and let's talk about, like, to speak it out to me. Tell me exactly how you're going to do this. And then sometimes them telling you or not being able to tell you how they're going to do it will set that in their mind, like, oh, I'm doing that again.
Okay.
Or, I need to make the steps. And if I can help them, I'll help them. But just making them aware of, hey, this is something they actually got to plan out.
Okay.
Is maybe, I haven't been in that situation.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good way. That would be a good way to approach it. Because I'm not 100% sure I've been in that situation, but I feel like if I have been in that situation, I've approached it the other way, where I just like kind of be like, man, you always do this.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you start something and then, you don't finish it. And like, that's not a constructive way to boost people to course correct. Because again, I think we speak to our friends the way we speak to ourselves. Mm-hmm. So if I always guilt myself for not doing the right things, like I used to take that guilt and just like push it on other people. Yeah. So I think having just a conversation where you're allowing that individual to just express what they're going through and then kind of almost figuring it out themselves, I feel like that's a better way to approach it.
Yeah. Because I've been on the other side of that. This is what Adam always does, or this is what Adam always says, and that shit doesn't feel good.
Yeah,
it's like I'm trying here.
Yeah,
you think I want to?
It's a tough thing, bro.
Yeah,
like it's tough, and I know we planned on doing like a episode on ADHD, and I'm like, I don't know how to speak about it, but I feel like this is a nice way to kind of add that into this conversation. But for me, like, I did not know, like, I'm still not clinically diagnosed or whatnot, but it wasn't until, I guess, what year are we in, 2024? Like, late 2022 that, like, people started telling me I have ADHD. And I'm like, it was, like, just, like, in a span of, like, a week. It's, like, 3 people were like, yeah, you got ADHD. And I'm like, bro, you, like, a couple of them had known me for years. And it's like, you never told me this? Like, I get guilted for, like, leaving, cabinets open. Mm-hmm. Apparently that's, like, just an ADHD thing.
Yeah.
Like, you just, like, I'm like, I get distracted. Like, I'm putting dishes away, so I'd have a cabinet open because you're putting the cups up. Mm-hmm. But then I'm like, oh, there's a plate. I opened up the plate cabinet, then I open up the bowl cabinet, and I'm like, I'm putting them one by one. Mm-hmm. Now may finish with the plates, but then I leave that, like, I'll just have shit open. But when I realized that I had ADHD, or I was told, it kind of shifted, like, my mind. It's like, okay, now I'm more aware. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm, and I think also, like, there comes times where, like, I feel like I use it for an excuse, and, like, that thing, it bothers me.
Yeah.
It bothers me a lot. When I'm like, oh damn, man, that's my ADHD. I'm like, fuck, I don't want this to control me.
Yeah, it controlled me for 26 years.
Okay.
And then
did you know you had it?
No, I didn't know, and it's like, man, why? Let's just keep fucking up, dude. Like,
but
like,
I
what?
feel
Like, man, I got all this potential. I'm creative. I'm pretty smart. Like, this is wild that I just like fumble at the finish.
Had to go line, yeah.
Like always. Like, how is this always happening? And then saw a therapist, and then saw a psychiatrist, and then went through some testing, and they're actually really strict in New York about testing and all that stuff. So, like, it was
really?
legit testing, and they're like, yeah, your ADHD is fuck.
No, but when I say it controls me, I mean, like, I didn't feel that until I figured out that I had it.
Yeah.
Like, before that, it was just like, okay, this is just who I am. It's just whatever. Yeah. But now it's just like, damn, man, this shit has control over me, and I hate it.
I couldn't read a paragraph without halfway through the paragraph, I was like, I don't even know what I just read because I was thinking about other things. Yeah. So, but there's the superpower side of ADHD.
Yeah.
I told you about that book, Peter Shankman.
Thinking
Faster Than
fast.
Normal.
Yeah. I started actually listening to it, which is a great. I think everybody who has ADHD and everybody who's in a relationship with somebody who has it just should listen to that book.
Oh yeah. That was the first one, and I just, we go down rabbit holes. So I started trying to learn about myself and my mind and what makes it tick and why I'm where I'm at. And I've been able to set up my life to work perfectly for me, or as well as possible. Because I know I have ADHD. I don't sit for a living. I'm constantly moving around.
Yeah. That makes sense.
It actually makes me a great coach. I can coach a room of 24 people pretty well because I can be everywhere at once.
Yeah.
There's certain things. If hyper focus, I don't know if you ever gotten to. Sometimes we're hyper focused or hyper fixated on certain things. If you get hyper fixated on the right thing, you can make gold. Like
I've had a few moments.
That's an ADHD.
Bro, I remember one time I was editing a music video. This was high school. The computer we had basically a fake version of Windows where the computer would crash every 30 minutes or something. It would just freeze and we'd have to restart. And so I would edit the video for the first few times I did it, I edited the video and I lost everything. And so basically I had gotten to the part where I was just editing it, saving it, computer would crash. I'll start, but I did it for the entire day from morning till the sun went down. I didn't eat anything.
You were just going.
I was just going and I was like, oh shit, I haven't eaten all day.
Hyperfocus, the ADHD thing that we can do. If we're interested in something, we're interested. If we're not, you couldn't pay us to do it.
Oh man, writing emails for me was so hard. Oh god, but I've gotten better.
Yeah, and
you remember when I was telling you when we first started this podcast, I was like, oh, I'm learning how to type.
Yeah,
bro,
you got nasty at it.
I'm like, I'm still messing up, but I messed up fast. I messed up faster now. You feel me? Yeah. It's awesome. Sorry, I'm sorry. You go ahead.
No, I love that, man. It's about learning. The awareness is so important because it's about learning how to work with what you got.
Yeah,
this is your mind.
Yeah,
let's make the best out of it.
Try to make sure you don't get too distracted. Put things where they need to be.
And stop trying to fit a circle into a square hole.
Yeah.
Find a version of your life that works for you. You're probably not meant to sit in front of a computer in an office for the entire day. Yeah. That's going to drive you crazy. Be in a job where you can be with people and that you're social and that ADHD people, they're some of the most charismatic people ever, dude. Because we kind of had to learn how to smooth talk.
Yeah, because we're not doing our work. Don't tell nobody. It's we're not doing our work. We're not doing our homework, our classwork, our work. So we had to, kind of learn how to get out of it.
It was a while. I had C2As. When it was effort. It was grade, effort, and
just behavior.
Yeah. They like you. C2As. Yes.
I was definitely a C student for sure. I love me some C's, and it was weird too because my grading would be I would go hard at the beginning just so I could slack off at the end. It's okay, boy, I'm just gonna get where I need to be so that I could slack off, and by the time I'm done, I got my C and I'm good.
Bro, but it's weird. I was able to show up to business calc in college 3 times and get an A.
How the
Day 1, and I was like, this guy doesn't even speak English. I can't understand him. And I was like, I'm going to have to teach myself calculus. And then I sat there with the book, and I can follow things pretty well, and I like numbers, so I was able to like kind of figure it out, and showed up to the midterm, showed up to the final, got an A. Taught myself business calc. But I can't sit in a classroom and have someone tell me some boring shit. Like, I can't do that. Like, I'm fidgeting the whole time.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
you can't wait to get out.
Do you ever watch these videos back? Do you see my leg?
Yeah. I saw it. Yeah.
Like, every time I'm just like...
So I hold stuff. I'm actually holding this chair right now. But it's either a pen or it's usually a pen.
Okay.
But there's something, like, I didn't even know I was holding this until we said that.
If you're not watching, Adam is currently like clutching the chair.
Yeah.
Like it's going to get pulled from under him.
Yeah, man. But I wouldn't change anything about myself.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I want to get better at certain things, but a lot of I like to think of my life as a success. Like, love my wife, love what I do, and I get to, I kind of created this life where it's a mixture of play and work, and it's cool. I get to do this with you. Things are good, right? And I don't think I would have got here if it wasn't for this ADHD side. I'd probably be in some office somewhere.
Yeah, typing numbers and all right. So how do you do the hard things while also balancing the ADHD? Like, I know you mentioned journaling, right? But like when you journal, is it like a specific topic, or do you just try to get everything out of your mind on paper just so it's not in your mind?
So there's journaling and planning. Planning happens for the week, at the beginning of the week, or at the beginning of the day. So I do my gratitude, and it's a guided journal. It's a monk manual. I love it. So I have 2 journals. One's a blank journal, and then one's a guided one.
Okay.
So I'll write down what's my intention for the day. Sometimes it's Kanye. It's usually one word.
Okay.
What am I trying to show this day?
Okay.
Then I'll write down my priorities. And these are the things that you better not fuck up on. All right. Like, all right, gotta pick up Caden from school or something. Like, these are the priorities or the big things of that day. Then I'll go into a to-do list, and now I'm using that app, the Motion app.
Yeah, okay.
And it's annoying, bro, because it will not stop popping up these tasks into your calendar until you do them. That's been extremely helpful because I was forgetting the stuff that let's say if I didn't do something on my task list, it was 2 pages ago.
Oh, yeah.
So I would carry it over, and then I would forget it.
Yeah.
And then a month goes by, and I was supposed to do that.
Yeah.
This app doesn't allow me to do that.
So in the app, like, are you able to add things like on your phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
So right when someone tells me something, let me write it down. And it'll just keep plugging it into your calendar at any hole that fits into the time that you made it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Until you get it done. And it'll set you reminders, and it's annoying, bro. It's super annoying, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Then journaling at the end of the night. Now, because I love this so much, and I read it on Instagram, but it used to be, what did you do today? And now it's, what do you want to remember about today?
Okay. So
I try to keep it positive, but sometimes it's, it is what it is. And,
yeah.
And I'll just write, and it's free writing.
And this is in your blank journal? Okay.
Blank journal. And I'm just free writing. And I try to type it up, and it felt very unnatural to type, and it felt like I was trying to think about what I was typing, and I was deleting.
Yeah.
When I was writing, no one can read
your handwriting.
Journal.
Yeah.
No, it is a dump of thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if I was to read it, I wouldn't even understand what I was writing because it's happening so fast, but it's just like these thoughts, and they're almost like,
so it's no format or anything. It's just
nothing.
Sentences, half words,
half words, ideas, thoughts, and it's been so therapeutic. It's like you close the chapter of that day, you turn the page, and you can go to bed at that point.
Okay.
And so doing the hard things really comes down to setting up systems and processes around everything. Because, and more importantly for people with ADHD, it's intentions for every day, setting up habits, trying to create habits and setting up the processes to get there.
Okay.
We don't have that. Our brain's not structured that way. But figuring out these things that can help us, like journaling, like exercise.
Yeah, I was just gonna say exercise.
Oh,
apparently,
so
that's
big.
a big thing.
So people with ADHD are missing adrenaline, serotonin, and I forgot the third one.
I don't remember either.
Adrenaline, serotonin, and
Dopamine.
dopamine. Yes.
Dopamine. Yeah.
So exercise releases adrenaline, serotonin, and dopamine. So it gives us the three chemicals that we're lacking.
Yeah.
So going for a run, even doing like 20 burpees before you sit down to the computer, instantly puts you in a work mode, and then you can just start cranking away.
I actually did that. I think it was yesterday. Like I woke up for work and I did my walk first, and like I sat down for my work and like I just crushed it. Like I would just like I killed it. Like all my tickets I just took care of in like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, hell yeah.
Dude, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And again, it's not making excuses, right? We can make excuses about that stuff, or you can just try to set up the right systems around you to pick up where you're lacking. You know, like other people can probably just be a little more organized easily. I have to set up very clear systems to every single day.
I need system. Like I try. Like I have a hard time setting up the system. I have a hard time planning things. Like I just try to be like, okay, I have to get X amount of stuff done. Like I really need to try that app.
Yeah, I'm using it every day.
Yeah, because I'll be like, yo, I know I have to do this, and this today. But then like I end up like having to try to do everything like in the last 3 hours of the day, where it's like I didn't do anything at the beginning of the day.
Yep.
Like I need to do a better job.
Well, you know what would happen to me? I had all this stuff to do, and I finally go to sit down to do some stuff, and I don't remember anything I had to do.
Oh shit!
Now there's this list of things with little timestamps of how long they should take, and I can just do them.
Okay. Man, we need to get a sponsor.
Oh yeah. We'll shout them out.
Yeah, one day.
Yeah, one day.
I love that. Okay, yeah, I need to try that. Okay, so do the hard things.
Yes. So just every day, if you're like, what's one challenging thing that I can do that would bring me closer to my goal,
And move that marble.
and move that marble.
Yeah, we've been moving marbles.
Absolutely.
We've been moving
I put them
marbles.
in my jar today.
Yeah.
Do they know? Did we say it last episode?
We did. We said it like 2 episodes ago.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Because that's been awesome.
I got family members doing it now.
Yeah.
I got my family members moving marbles, and it's been awesome.
I started a client, and so I set it to, because I needed one clear thing that I'm tracking, and it's, did you keep your calendar up to date?
Oh,
That's it. The only thing.
okay.
Because if I did that, that means all my tasks are there, so I'm at least aware of my whole schedule. Me, it's like I overschedule, or I didn't schedule something, or I didn't realize. I get overwhelmed. So if it's all right in front of me, my life is 1,000 times better.
Okay. We should tell people about the marbles.
Yes.
Just in case they haven't. This might be their first episode.
Oh yeah. So there's 2 jars. So we set up 2 jars. One jar has 100 marbles in it. It's the old you. The new jar, the other jar is empty, and it represents the new you. And you pick one habit that you're trying to get better at, and every day that you complete the task to make that habit stick, you take a marble from the old jar and you put it in the new jar. Every day that you don't do that, like let's say you were trying to diet and you messed up your diet, you have to take a marble out of the new jar and put it back in the old jar. So you're aiming for net 100 days or net
whatever days.
Choose.
Yeah. Because you went 100. I just filled up my jar.
You gave me 100 marbles.
Because you said 100.
I was like, dude, he gave me. I counted them. I was like, he gave me 100.
I gave you exactly what you said. You wanted 100, so I counted them, and I was like, okay, Adam wants 100. I didn't want you to have. I should have just told you I put 100 marbles in there.
Yeah. So I did it with one of my clients, and he's working out 5 days a week, and he was like, how about the other 2 days? So I was like, no, you're gonna take those marbles out, even the days that he's not working out. Because it's net one.
Yeah.
I want net 100. I don't care what it is. Net 100. And so he just has to work for a little bit longer. It doesn't matter.
So he already knows, like, every week there's 2 marbles going back.
2 marbles going back. That's fine.
Okay. I would have been like, fuck that. Yeah. I'm just working out 7 days. But I love that, though, because, yeah.
But I gave him the option for walks. That counts.
Okay.
You're active.
Yeah.
7 days a week.
Yeah. Walks are awesome.
Why not?
Or pickleball.
Yeah, pickleball.
Pickleball. Did I tell you there's a pickleball spot right by my house?
Really?
I haven't figured out how to get to it, though. It's like part of like a neighborhood or something. But like I'm like driving and I could see it, but I don't know how to get to it yet. But it gets like real crowded.
We jump in gates.
I have to figure out how to get in there. I don't know if it's like a gated community and I have to follow somebody in, but
So I looked it up, and it would be really expensive to build a pickleball court. Looked it up, went down a rabbit hole. Like, I gotta get an excavator.
Wait, but like, why can't you just like...
You could draw it on, but the clay courts bounce a lot different than some like concrete, like asphalt.
Okay.
So it's a process.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a goal.
All right, we're gonna build a pickleball court.
Yeah,
right at the gym.
Right at the gym. Now let's talk about simple.
Okay,
talked about not easy. Let's talk about simple. Do you tend to overcomplicate things?
At times, yeah. Like, because there's. Like I start with simple, I think, but like I don't tend to stick with simple. Like I always want to push the envelope.
Okay.
And sometimes it's a good thing, but sometimes it's not. But I feel like when you're just starting out, though, you have to start with simple. And the issue that most people run into, I believe, is they look at, somebody's day 30 or year 10 and they want to start there.
Yeah.
Right. But the foundation has to be set. Right. So in photography, a lot of people just like, okay, I need the best camera. I'm going to go spend $5,000 on a camera body, $3,000 on the best lens because it's expensive, and I saw this one person on YouTube use it and the pictures are amazing.
I thought about it, and I went straight. That's
where you go, right? Yeah, but there's things that you have to know, like the exposure triangle, like shutter speed, ISO, and the f-stop. Those things, like if you don't know those 3 things, it doesn't matter how expensive your camera is. Right. And composition composition is another thing. Like there's photographers with like the most amazing cameras available to man. Like I'm talking $10,000 cameras, bro. But they can't compose a photo to save their life. And like learning how to compose, it's like you watch the videos, right? Like you practice that stuff doesn't cost necessarily, but like just having the most expensive gear, you don't learn that stuff. So the easy is exposure triangle and composition, and also like learning how to speak to your subject. There's stuff like that that's easy, but people skip over it and then
go straight to the
And I always feel bad because I'm looking at like the pictures. I'm like sure, and you get a false sense of like you're doing great, I think, from the subject, because like if you take pictures of somebody, they're always just going to be grateful for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh man, thank you. You take a picture of me. But what ends up happening is somewhere down the line, you start to compare yourself and you're like, oh, like my pictures aren't that great. Mm-hmm. And like, it hurts you because you don't have that foundation. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like I get made fun of all the time for the cameras I use, but my foundation is so solid that I could be in a room and be like, okay, yeah, you have the best camera available, but we're in the same room. Mm-hmm. Like we're literally in the same room. So it doesn't even matter like how you feel about my camera. Like we're taking pictures of the same people. Mm-hmm. I might be making more money than you because I'm not paying off my gear.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, and it just is what it is. Like, I mean, you see the cameras I'm using, like,
I don't know anything about cameras.
But look at how small they are, right? Like people like legit are like, oh, that's not a professional camera.
They look legit.
Bro, but you know what I mean? Like in the game.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, in the game. So yeah, simple is learning the foundation. And you know what I mean? You could talk about diet, exercise, what push, pull, hinge, squat.
Yep.
Simple. Right? It's not ring muscle ups, it's not bar muscle ups, it's not snatch 100 kilos, it's push, pull. You know what I mean?
We forget that.
Mm-hmm.
And we get so caught up in the leaderboard, in the sport, we forget that fitness is for life. And real fitness, I think a successful career in real fitness, not as a person, not as a coach, is if you're able to move when you're 90 years old.
Like Tom Brady.
Yeah. Yeah. If you are beating your body to shit and by 50, you need knee replacements and hip replacements, and by 70, you can't even stand, you know, like that for what?
Yeah.
You know, like that's not it. So real fitness is doing the foundation extremely well. Mm-hmm. That's it. And I had this conversation with a couple athletes this week, and I thought they were lifting too heavy. And it bothered me to the point where I had to say something. I had to pull them to the side and say something at the end of class. And it's because they're young in their fitness career that I didn't want it to continue further. And I don't see everyone every day. You know, I coach different classes. So I pulled them aside and I told them, it's like, dude, you got forever to go. But if reps look like near failure in practice, that's not the way it's supposed to go. There's, you know, speedy reps. We're supposed to come out, you know, it's supposed to look clean. And if you hurt yourself, you're not going to be able to do this anymore. So you're not benefiting anyone. So to the coaches, like, you're not benefiting anyone by letting people skip the foundations.
Yeah.
Let them do the foundations a million times. And a real coach, a real good coach, makes people fall in love with the foundations. You know, it's not the ring muscle ups. Yeah. They fall in love with moving perfectly, moving beautifully. So yeah, I had that conversation with people today. Same thing for nutrition. People want the keto fasting 3000.
Bro, and man, the diet industry makes a killing. Like, you can't go to the grocery store without and it's right there at the checkout. The fastest way to lose 30 inches in 30 days. And it's like, okay.
Come on, man. It's frustrating. It's frustrating because that's what clients expect. So when I sit down for a consultation, I tell my clients, hey, especially if they've been dieting for years. Yeah, I've been at 800 calories for the past 3 years. I'm not losing weight. One, you're lying. Two,
I was just about to say, there's no way. Yeah. There's no way. Like, how are you calculating your calories?
Yeah, so there was a study that came out. So the average person miscalculates. They did it was a small study, but they had people track their diets, and everyone, the average wrong was 1,000 calories.
That's a lot.
They were underreporting by 1,000 calories. That's why you're not. Come on. But they're not aware, like, you got to count oils and you have to, like,
Yeah.
nutrition companies are allowed to lie up to 20%.
Oh,
That's
shit.
their margin of error. And
That's a lot, too.
That's a lot. It can be someone's entire deficit, a steep deficit at that. So, it takes a lot more. But eating real foods and, a plate-sized quantity that's a balanced meal, that's not hard. And you can make a lot of progress like that. Cutting out sugary drinks and drinking more water and sleeping more. And, we could not even touch macros, not get complex at all.
Yeah.
And make tons of progress. We don't even need to go down that route.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm trying to get to that. Like, I am really good at counting macros, but I want to get back to. I don't want to count. Like, it's too complicated for me sometimes.
Yeah. So I have because there's probably a lot of people in that boat. I got so good at counting macros that I did not know if something was 1 ounce or 30 ounces without having to weigh that.
Yeah.
Like, I was just, macros is weighing everything and macros is everything. So I had a client that I had to wean them off macros because they wanted to come back to, like, a more natural kind of lifestyle. So I had her for a week try to eyeball food and then weigh it.
Okay.
So it's like you're playing a guessing game. This is what this looks like, and then weigh it. So you're checking your work a whole week. Then the following week, she was just sending me pictures because I'm a ninja. I know exactly what something weighs just by a picture at this point. And then I was like, all right, so that looks kind of right. So the structure of the meals kind of stayed the same. And it works. That's, like, super underappreciated. Like, the fist of protein, the thumb of fat. I don't know if you ever seen.
Yeah, I've seen stuff. Yeah,
it's pretty accurate.
Okay.
Like you can actually, like, do that instead of counting macros. But I like the approach of eventually you don't have to weigh stuff because you can eyeball it and know that it's more or less in that category.
Okay.
And if it's 10 grams of protein over, 10 grams of protein under over a day, it's not going to make or break you,
Yeah. I just, again, like, I feel like the macros are just a little bit complicated. And then it's also kind of scary for the people who watch me do it. Like, it kind of almost, I feel like I scare people away from trying.
Because you're weighing stuff?
Yeah. Like, weighing things, and, like, I'm very strict on, like, on things. And, like, I feel like I scare the people away from attempting to make the effort to start to lose weight. They're like, oh, it's hard. Like, you have to do macros. And I'm like, there's got to be a way where I don't have to do macros. Like, I do it a different way. So that's what I'm trying to.
Yeah.
Like, I want to lead. I want that example where I'm like, I don't count macros. I just eat right. But this is what I eat.
Yeah. like, a plate of food, like a regular sized plate of food, not these oversized plates.
Yeah.
And that's mostly protein and vegetables, and with some carbs also, is pretty spot on in terms of the amount of protein you should be getting, the amount of carbs, the amount of fat. Like, we can, at least me at this point, I can kind of put together a meal and be like, that's probably like 400 to 500 calories with 40 grams of protein.
Okay.
So just getting to that point. And that comes with some eyeballing and some checking your work.
Okay. Yeah. We got to get back to that simple. See? I'm going to go back to simple.
Yeah, simple.
Simple, baby. All right. So I think we could do closing thoughts after that.
Absolutely.
So you want to start? I don't know if I have to let mine process.
Yeah. So I haven't watched the podcast yet, but it was, I forgot who, and David Goggins. It just happened. Huberman and David Goggins.
Yeah.
And they talked about there's some new emerging research in the past couple of years that there's a part of the brain that only grows from doing hard things.
Mm-hmm.
And they say that the people that have developed this part of the brain live a lot longer than the people that haven't. develop that part of the brain. And it's I can't wait to watch this podcast of just the other things I had to do. And that was powerful for me because now there's science that shows that doing the hard things is good for you. Actual science.
Yeah.
Neuroscience, which I think is pretty cool and fascinating. A life void. This was a quote that I heard a long time ago, and it just hit me so hard. It's, if you avoid doing the hard things, easy things become hard. And I think that's what happened to a lot of people.
Yeah.
We're in this era of whiny little bitches.
Yo, that's wildly accurate.
And that's my closing thought.
Oh shit, I was not expecting that.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know, like, that stopped me. Fuck it. I just, again, do something hard every day. Find your purpose, attack it, and don't be a whiny little bitch. I think that's it.
That's it.
I like that.
That's it. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again for joining us for another episode of the Revs That Count podcast. We enjoy doing these, and we do appreciate you taking the time to listen, especially for the people who've listened to every episode.
Yeah, man.
Like, if you listen to every episode, like, I really, really appreciate you.
I do.
Like, it means a lot.
Yeah. This is one of the best parts of my week. Is just sitting here and doing this with you, dude.
All right, but we kind of the tables. Wait, let's try the left real quick.
Bam.
Yeah, that works. All right, have a good one.
All right.
Peace.